At 62, Jodie Foster's tragedy is beyond heartbreaking. Because while the world remembers her as the prodigy who stole hearts as a child actress and taxi driver and later cemented her place in Hollywood history with unforgettable performances in The Silence of the Lambs and Contact, her life has been far from the glamorous dream so many imagine. Instead, marked by struggles with identity, loss, public scrutiny, and the quiet battles that fame could never protect her from. From an early age, Foster was thrust into the spotlight. Growing up in front of cameras and under relentless pressure to deliver perfection, and while her career soared, her personal life was far more complicated. Scarred by the constant lack of privacy and the weight of living under the gaze of a judgmental industry that scrutinized every choice she made. As she grew older, she wrestled with questions of self-identity and acceptance, enduring years of speculation about her private life, which often overshadowed her professional accomplishments and left her emotionally guarded, with interviews frequently revealing her discomfort at being the center of attention outside of her work. The tragedy deepened with her complex relationship to fame itself. While many of her peers embraced celebrity culture, Foster often retreated from it, leading to periods of isolation and loneliness, as she struggled to balance her need for privacy with the demands of being a global star. One of the darkest chapters of her life was the horrifying 1981 assassination attempt on President Ronald Reagan, carried out by John Hinckley Jr., who obsessively fixated on Foster after watching her in Taxi Driver. This incident not only shook the nation but left Foster traumatized, forever associating her career with an act of violence she never invited. And it became a burden she quietly carried for years, often reluctant to discuss it publicly. Beyond these traumatic experiences, Foster has also dealt with the more universal but no less painful struggles of aging in Hollywood, an industry notoriously harsh toward women over 40, let alone in their 60s, and while she remains respected for her talent, the reality is that opportunities have diminished, leaving her confronting the cruel truth of an industry that often discards its brightest talents once they no longer fit a narrow mold. In recent years, she has spoken candidly about her feelings of invisibility, the challenge of balancing motherhood with her career, and the difficulty of finding meaningful roles that match her abilities, all of which add layers of poignancy to her story. Though she has achieved immense success with multiple Academy Awards and critical acclaim, her journey has been riddled with obstacles that fame could not erase: loneliness, trauma, and the exhausting fight for authenticity in a world that constantly tried to define her. Fans who grew up admiring her brilliance are heartbroken to see the vulnerable side of someone who seemed so strong, realizing that behind her incredible talent lies a woman who has quietly endured immense pain. And at 62, the tragedy of Jodie Foster is not about scandal, but about the quiet suffering, resilience, and sacrifices that have defined her life, leaving the world to admire her strength while mourning the struggles she was forced to carry in silence.